kept your head cool when it was really money time?
Well, it was definitely very challenging to play in this kind of conditions with Joe that was informed this week. I thought, being a break-up and a couple of break points for double break in the first set, I felt playing well, very solid, had match under control. Serving 5-4 30 love, and then all of a sudden not putting a first serve in, he started mixing up with the slice and starting to play a bit different tactically, and that got me off a little bit of the balance and the rhythm, and he started playing better. He started swinging more freely from the forehand corner especially, and it was very close, but I take positives out of today's match. The fact that I've played somebody that was feeling good throughout the week, somebody that serves very, very big and plays very, quick and efficient, precise forehands. That gave me a lot of trouble today. To win in straight sets and to win in 2 tie breaks, I think it's going to help definitely my confidence, and mentally I'll take that.
Rafa next. Obviously, last time you played him, it's one of your most lopsided matches ever. So how do you think that result for you can carry over into this one? Now also you have an upper hand in the head for the first time going into the match.
Well, it's obviously a completely different matchup than against most of the players that I play against this week, and he's a great competitor, a great fighter. He's been getting himself out of trouble, a few times this week, and showing why he's one of the best players in the history of the game. He never gives up, always makes you play an extra shot, always makes you earn the win. And I'm going into tomorrow's match knowing what's expecting me, and I know how to get ready. Won last couple of times that we played against each other, so I think that also can give me a slight maybe mental advantage coming into the court. But again, everything is open. It's semifinals. We both have won multiple times titles here, and hopefully we can come up with some good tennis.
With how close your rivalry has been, what did that Doha final feel like for you?
Well, that's definitely one of the best matches I've played against Rafa, and I'll try to take a close look at that match and what I have done right. And but again, we have to consider the completely different conditions. We played in Doha, on a bit quicker surface, and balls were not bouncing as high. It was night. It's colder than here. Tomorrow is going to be very warm. Ball bounces very high, which he prefers, because the spin, the rotation that he generates with his shots is really big, and the court is picking that rotation up here with the bounce. So he likes the conditions actually. We played against each other here several times, and always close matches. Well, I'm hoping I can deliver my best game tomorrow.
Obviously you know what to expect when you go out there to play, Rafa. But is one match different to the next or to the previous one, or how do you approach them? Do you approach them in the same way or differently?
Every match is different. As I said, for the reasons just mentioned, obviously playing in the different conditions, different years, you have a different feel every time you get to go out on the court with one of your biggest rivals ever. There's always a lot at stake, whether it's Doha or Indian Wells or finals of Grand Slam. You always want to win against your biggest rival, and so that's kind of an optimistic approach I will have tomorrow as well. And as I said, I won last couple of times when we played against each other, so we'll try to analyze what I've done well and carry that into tomorrow's match.
Obviously, 2007 we played her. That was kind of a big breakthrough year, and that final you played Rafa. Can you reflect on that experience in 2007, and then also what you learned from that final against Rafa that maybe helped with your progress? Because next you played again and you won.
Well, that was a breakthrough year, definitely, in terms of winning big titles in my career. I remember it well. I lost in straight sets here, and then managed to win in straight sets in Miami against him in quarters on my way to the first Masters title. So those two tournaments have opened a lot of doors for me and have allowed me to believe that I can, win big titles, win against top players, and that was definitely a strong confidence boost and win in the back, if I may say, for the rest of the career. almost 10 years later, we're completely different players than we were back then. More experienced and I think physically better prepared, both of us. And but 48 matches later, as well, a lot has happened, and it keeps going. So I mean, I enjoy rivalry against Rafa. It's probably the most exciting rivalry I have in my career. So hopefully we can play many more matches.
With Roger Federer and Andy Murray, Rafa, I think it's fair to say, is one of your three great rivals. Each have quite different games. Could you just briefly talk about your mindset? What specifically is different about preparing against these three great rivals?
Well, as you said, I mean, there are three different players, so you have to prepare yourself three different ways tactically. Mentally, on the other hand, it's quite similar because you're playing. When you're playing those three guys, there's a lot of excitement, a lot of emotions going on prior to the match, and when you step onto the court, you feel that tension, and so that's why it's important to use that strong emotion and intensity that you have and channel it in a positive way rather than negative. And it's a game of cat and mouse in a way, mentally. Who is going to be on top first? Who's going to take over the control? Usually ends up as a winner. So I know that the very beginning of the match is very, very important. So I'm going to try to start well.
Couple of questions, Greg?
Novak, obviously, last a couple of months ago was the first time you edged ahead of the rivalries with Rafa and with Roger. Who do you think that has the better psychological importance? Would it be you to have actually taken that edge, or then what? I mean, how would you figure that?
Well, it certainly is pleasing to know that I've managed to, for the first time in my career ever since I started playing professional tennis, that I'm leading in head-to-head against Roger and Rafa. I mean, that wasn't the case for 10 years, and I worked very hard in order to have that positive head-to-head, and it does matter. It does really matter, of course. To what extent, it really does depend. I try not to make a big deal out of it, but I understand. But I understand that being on a north side of head-to-head does contribute to my, I would say, preparations for the matchups against them.
Last question?
Tsonga obviously has a huge forehand. Could you take a moment and what do you feel are the two or three best forehands on the circuit now?
Well, there's quite a difference between powerful forehands and most efficient forehands. So I think Federer has one of the most efficient forehands. The combination of power, finesse, and precision. Then, of course, Nadal. So Tsonga can be, one of the guys right up there. I mean, Del Potro says big forehand. Verdict. Forehand is one of the most, if not the most important shot in the game when you think about it. Serve and forehand, because statistically, I think overall we play maybe 2 to 3 shots in average, throughout the year. That's reality. So very important is to have a good return, good serve, and first shot. Take initiative. So if you have a good forehand, that definitely helps.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.